How's everybody doing this morning? We'll go ahead and get started here in about a minute and a half. Just getting things set up for everybody and have a really awesome message today. Hopefully everybody's having a nice Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, I guess, depending on where you're at in the world. So just give me a couple minutes or a minute and a half or less than a minute now, actually, and we'll go ahead and get started right on time. You guys should be able to hear me okay. Can you guys just somebody type in the chat or Q&A or wherever, just type in yes if you can hear me. Just make sure everything's working okay. Awesome, thank you. Thank you, Sherry. Awesome. Okay, we'll give it about 30 more seconds and I'll record this as well, just in case, because I know this was kind of a, a last minute thing I announced, but I just thought of it this morning when I woke up. So, and as I present here on out, I'm going to start adding this slide and everything to my presentations as well, just because this is a very powerful way to close people, and it really helps people understand where the 4% a week comes from, why we do the 4%, why it makes sense for the company to do the 4%, why it's sustainable, the whole 9 yards. So let me go ahead and start the recording, and I'm going to go back and forth with this and show you guys a couple different things on here. So here we go. Give me 1 second here. Record. Awesome. So I want to thank everybody for coming out this morning. So what I want to really focus on this morning are these certificates and why that they are so amazing, I guess, for lack of a better word, why they're sustainable, why it makes sense financially, why it makes sense compliant wise. Because the biggest questions we receive as members of this community, at least the ones I get more than anything else, is A, is this compliant? And B, is this sustainable? So if you guys ever get that question, just type in yes in the Q&A or the chat if the chat's working. But just type in yes if you ever get any of those questions. Hey, is this legal? Is this compliant? Or is this sustainable? So I promise you, I get that question constantly. And I want to show you how this makes so much sense. And this is what I explain to people. How many of you guys saw Bruce's explanation regarding the 4% I think it was last Monday or Tuesday? He did a very beautiful job of putting it on a whiteboard and breaking it all down. And I want to do something similar, but I want to dive a little bit deeper. Okay, so with these certificates, you notice there's two different sections. There's a price and there's a load. The price is buying the certificate. We are selling certificates. We can sell as many certificates as we want, pretty much anywhere we want to, and we're compliant because these certificates come with the Lydian Lions. Once activated, the certificates come with the ability to mine and the ability to trade, the ability to load it later on, or you can load it at the same time. But when you're buying the certificates, the certificate price and the load are two different things. That's why at the end of the 18 months, you do not get the price back. You get the load back, and you also receive the bonus that our partners give you on the load. You receive both of those items back, but the price you don't receive back. Why? Because of compliance. But you do receive money for the price, right? You're getting a 3x on your money. So let's break this down and simplify this. Customer acquisition cost. When Bruce broke that down on the whiteboard the other day, said, listen, it costs money to acquire a new customer. It also costs money to retain a new customer for the rest of their life, right? Businesses spend millions and millions of dollars on these two items, right? On the acquisition. So customer acquisition cost also includes the salaries of the people that are advertising, right? Call centers, salespeople, all these different direct and indirect costs that they have. Marketing. Well, mostly marketing is a direct cost, right? Because you want to market it, it directly costs you something. But the direct cost of marketing and all this money that they're shelling out. Then to retain customers over time, they're sending you coupons, they're sending you all these different things, mailers, they're sending you all these things to retain you. So there is a significant cost of any business to acquire and retain customers. The 4.15% weekly you get paid for 18 months, that is taken from that marketing budget, placed into an account, and that is basically paying you. And the only way that stops paying you is if our partners basically become insolvent. How many of you believe that BD Swiss and SkyGround will become insolvent in the next 18 months, which means go bankrupt? Not going to happen, right? I mean, the chances of that are slim to none. It's just not going to happen. So why does it make sense for them? Why is this sustainable? So you guys can go out so confidently and sell these certificates and just with huge momentum. Because to say, listen, let's take the example of an Hermes. The $1,000 price that they are paying, they're paying that into us. Here it comes $1,000. Now that $1,000 is pay them 4.15% weekly for 18 months, or $3,232. So it's an increase of an additional 232%. So that's our partner saying, look, we're going to give you, you give us $1,000, we're going to give you $3,000 back. Say, okay, why? Well, easy, because they're going to recapture their costs quickly. As long as a company knows they can recapture their costs, they'll do this all day, every day. And so how do they recapture their costs? Well, think about it this way. 80 to 90% of us are what? We're rolling it back over into a PAM account, right? When we hit that compound button every week, we're taking that weekly, we're gonna write back to them, are we not? So here you go, SkyGround, here you go, BD Swiss, here's that $41.50. I'm gonna put it back in this PAM account and allow you to trade it. So that those marketing dollars are coming right back to them every week when we do that. So they're recapturing part of it almost immediately. And then they're going to assume that we're going to probably purchase items in Living World because SkyGround, the company that via BD Swiss has partnered with us in technology. They're technology partners. They're helping us with Lydian World. They're helping us with the bank. They're helping us with all these different things. So they're going to get this money back. So they have no problem saying, all right, I'm going to give you an additional $2,000, or if it's a $10,000 price, I'm going to give you an additional 200%, knowing that a lot of it's coming back when you compound it every week, because it comes right into our PAM accounts. So, and we're going to make money on the trade, and we're going to give you your, around 6% or so, whatever, each month on the trade. This is how this is broken up. This is why it makes so much sense. And it makes sense for them to give us the money. And I want you guys to name one state or one country in the world that's going to say, or one governing body that's going to say, hey, you can't take your marketing budget and give it directly to your customers to buy them in. Who's going to say you can't do that? There's nothing on the books. There's no laws saying that, hey, you can't do that. You can do whatever you want with your marketing budget. It's your marketing budget. So if they want to pay it forward and say, hey, instead of running ads and paying call centers and we're just going to take that and give 4.15%. We're going to give you our marketing budget. Here you go. Here you go. They're buying you as a customer, and they're going to get the money back. They know they're going to get the money back because, again, a lot of you are rolling it back over every week. And then after that, how many of you are going to buy items in Living World? How many of you are going to purchase the supplements with Region Swiss? How many of you may rent a room or a hotel building? How many of you may travel? How many of you may buy items and services from local merchants or from these international merchants or these corporate accounts? A lot of us are, right? Because they're taking 4% of the revenue of the marketplace and they're sharing it with you. So they're creating loyal customers for life. How many of you plan on using the bank? How many of you plan on using the bank whenever the bank comes out and you want to liquidate your cryptocurrency? Are you going to use our bank? Probably. Well, that will generate fees on the blockchain, which will give them some of their money back. Whenever you purchase an item, it'll generate fees on our blockchain, which will give them some of their money back. They're going to have merchants pay them to advertise to them, which is going to give them their money back, right? So this is very sustainable. This is just ABC business, right? Here's our advertising costs. Guys, this thing is so magical. It's not even funny how amazing this is. So when you think about it this way, because this is what's going on, this is what's happening. So then once you decide, okay, I'm going to load my certificate. Well, once you load the certificate, now that money goes to SkyGround, who takes that, batches it, bundles it, facilitates it, sets up your PAM account. Why can SkyGround do that? Because SkyGround is licensed to do that. SkyGround is allowed to do that. I can't sell that piece directly. I have to sell a certificate because I am not licensed. So I'm selling the certificate, and the certificate pays you with marketing dollars, not with trading dollars. It doesn't put us in the gray area. A lot of these companies, they launch and say, well, I mean, it's kind of in the gray area what we're doing. We're not in the gray area. We're taking marketing dollars and saying, here you go. It keeps us out of that gray area. And then when you decide to, again, load your certificate, that is when you set up the PAM account. That is a personal trading account that BD Swiss manages via SkyGround. SkyGround facilitates that. SkyGround puts that together. So when you're talking to people, you should be able to explain this to them. And I'm going to add the slide. I'm going to give people a copy of this, whatever, just let people have this so they can understand how this is set up properly, how this is set up to sustain over time. And you can be very excited about it. I'm very excited about it. Are you guys excited about it? You should be. And so I'm going to go to skyground.group, and I'm going to kind of go through their website too. I want you guys to see this as well. Because again, this is so important to understand. When you have conversations with people, if you can explain this to them, it answers those questions. It takes the fear away, right? It takes the fear away. So now you should be able to see the screen. PAM account means personal assets under management. Okay, PAM account is account being traded. That's a trading account. But let's look at SkyGround really quick. So creating access to great opportunities right here. Let's look at their core competency, their services. This is, you guys have all seen him by now. Alex, right, from BD, the former CEO, BD Swiss is now the CEO of SkyGround, so he could put this together for us. Now look at this. Global registration, compliance and AML, policies and TNCs, global licensing, global registration. Their core competency is global licensing and helping companies like BD Swiss stay compliant, stay licensed. Sales and marketing. Do you know what they did? BD Swiss and SkyGround basically hired, in a sense, as partners to become their marketing arm. So they're giving us the lion's share of their marketing budget to market for them and bring them customers via our blockchain through Lydian World. So with that money they gave us, and they give us each month or whatever, we take that, say, here's your 4.15%, boom. That's why it's like clockwork. Every time you click that button every week is 4.15%. Now, you can say, well, mine was 4.47 or 4.8 or whatever. That's because you click that button a couple hours later, right? So say if it was a 7 days and right on the hour close to it, you're going to get the 4.15. But if you do it half a day later or a day later, it might be 4.7 or 5% or whatever it may be. That's the difference, because it's just allocated over a 7-day calendar, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 4.15%. The money's already there. And so that's what makes this thing compliant, makes it sustainable, makes it exciting, where you should be able to scream from the rooftops. The trading account, that's just a bonus. Hey, if I make 6% this month trading, great. If I make 4%, great. If I make 10%, even better. But that's the trading account. That's the PAM account. But again, most of us are what? We're rolling over our weeklies and compounding it, giving the money right back to the company that gave us the money to market with. Brilliant or brilliant, right? Type in yes in the Q&A or chat if this is brilliant, because it is. You can go ahead and type in yes. Don't be afraid to. This is absolutely brilliant the way this company is set up. Okay, it's set up to sustain us for decades, not for a year or two and get shut down. This thing is absolutely brilliant. And when companies or when prospects understand, look, we are literally paying you to join our marketplace. Why would we do that? We'll go back to my original slide. We're doing that because by doing so, you are able to potentially become a customer for our bank, a customer for our marketplace, a customer for everything we roll out. You know, all these different things we're going to add to this. And by becoming a customer, we're going to attract more merchants who are also going to pay us to market to you. So we're getting our money back. So it behooves us to give you 0.15. We're paying you in, and we're doing it legally, because the two things we cannot do. Number one, we cannot take new money from a new member coming in to pay you. That is a Ponzi scheme. That is illegal. That is not what's going on here. Number two, we cannot sell you directly. We cannot directly sell you a trading account, because then we'd be selling unlicensed securities. That is a bad thing. And most companies fall in one or both of those buckets. And that's why they keep getting shut down. That's why they keep lasting for a couple of years and then they're gone. And then when you talk to somebody, they're afraid that that's what's happening here. That is not what's happening here. These are attorneys, I'm thinking about BD Swiss. Look at our companies behind us. BD Swiss has been around for over 10 years. Look at SkyGround. Look at GS Bank. GS Bank's been around what 12, 13 years. Okay, look at all the partners as they add more partners to this, as you go to these different events and you see these partners on stage speaking, Region Swiss, and all these different companies that are being announced. They've been around a long time. They've been around a long time because they actually know what they're doing. They're compliant. They understand business. This company is phenomenal, guys. And you should be able to go to anybody at any time confidently and say, here I am, right? There's your face. Boom, here I am right here. I'm actually in Nevada this morning. So Nevada going to some meetings today. But guys, you should be uber confident to go to anybody with this message and share it with them. And you can explain to them where that 4.15% a week comes from, and you can explain to them in confidence. Your closing rate should go right through the ceiling, because you can show them in your back office. It's easy to show, hey, here it is every week. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. And that's when you're going to get those two questions. Is this compliant? Is this sustainable? Those two questions always come up. And if they don't ask, they're probably thinking it. So this live today, I'm going to record this. I'm going to put this on our YouTube channel, so you guys can go back to it. If you need it, you can share it with your teams. Make sure that everybody clearly understands what I'm saying this morning, because this is going to help you. It's going to arm you with the information you need to help people understand what's going on here, because no other company is doing this. I don't know of a single other platform out there that's doing this, that's literally pulling from their marketing budget, which means they have to have a big marketing budget. Think about how lucky we got to partner with the SkyGround via BD Swiss. How lucky were we to do that, because they can afford to do this. They have the marketing budget to do this, knowing they're going to get their money back. But most companies don't have the capital to do this. They don't have the capital to pull something like this off, to put something like this together, which makes us numero uno in my book. Nobody can touch what we're doing. Okay, so understanding where that 4.15% a week is crucial. So if you came on late to this call, I saw a couple of people come on a little later, that's fine. It's on the Facebook. Just go back, watch the Facebook Live. I'm recording this call, but it breaks down again the 4.15%, where it comes from, why it's compliant. And again, it's compliant because it's marketing dollars being used, not new money coming in from new customers. And we're not selling these trading accounts directly. We're not. We've got the facilitator, which is SkyGround. You're buying the certificate. The certificate's paying you the marketing dollars that were given to us, basically reallocated to us, because they basically partnered with us to make us their marketing arm. So they're giving us the marketing dollars to give to you over 18 months. which they can do that all day, every single day, and not break a single law. I absolutely love this. Love it, love it, love it. So with that, everybody, I want to keep this short and sweet. I'm going to send you the recording. Peace out, everyone. I've got some meetings to do today in Nevada, and then I'm headed back home to Utah tomorrow. So with that, everybody, have a great weekend. We'll talk soon.